Alright guys, this is honestly an easy as shit fight. Tech this for a Deathknight, or pretty much for any melee. You will pre-pot, you will get Lust later in the fight, so save your other pot for that. As melee, attack him towards the front or the side. If you sit behind him, you're going to get some huge damage on you. Also as melee, pretty much stand out of the swirly crap on the ground. Don't let the red smoke hit you or you'll take a lot of damage. And if ads are close to you, take them down. Tectus at some point will go into a phase when he gets low on health where you have to take him down before he, does bad things. Right now he's getting close to that phase. Excuse me. So, I'll just, I'll keep in real time until it gets to about that point. Yada yada yada, very fun. Alright, here he goes. Now, at this point, you kill him, he splits into two. Now, the ads are up right now, so I go ahead and switch off and kill those. Your tank or someone will mark one of them, so make sure to target the one he marks. These both have all of Tectus' abilities, so your job is to do what you did with Tectus, realizing there's two of them, and kill the one with the skull. Eventually, these guys will split into four, and once they split into four, at least for us, is when we lust for the first time. So they'll split into four, we lust, you burst again, and that is pretty much the fight. So when they split into four, just AoE. In this phase, single target is probably best, so you don't somehow push the other target more. So they'll split into four, AoE the shit out of them, defile them, do whatever you can. At that point, that will be the most hectic part of the fight. After that, you'll switch back to this other target. He'll split into four, you kill those four, and that's the whole fight. So I'll speed through the rest of this, and we'll go on to the next boss. Okay, Twin Ogrons is pretty easy, especially for melee. So, I'll tell you pretty much what you have to watch out for now, then you can watch the sped up portion of the video to kind of see what I'm talking about. So, you'll lust at the start, you pop all your bursts, blah blah blah, pre-pop, blah 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 blah, dot them both, defile them. As a Deathknight, I like to just stand on Phemos. Phemos is the one who will damage you with, basically Whirlwind. So you burst on him, they have a shared health pool, so making sure you have both dots on both or on them is good. So he'll do Quake towards the beginning of the fight. Quake happens when Phemos has 100 energy. Quake will put down those 4 axes, and he will shoot flames at you through the axes. They won't shoot behind them, but the ones across the room will shoot at your raid group. So essentially, you move right, left, right. You stay out of those flames. If those flames hit you, they'll put a dot on you. If you have 2 or 3 stacks of that dot, you will take a lot of damage. When he gets to 33 damage, you're going to Whirlwind, or he'll Whirlwind. The tank pulls him away slightly, but it's your job to make sure that you're out of it the rest of the way. At this time, you'll switch to the other boss, and then when Whirlwind's over, you switch back. Now, the other boss, when he gets up to a certain amount of energy, I don't remember exact number, I think it's also 100. Maybe it's his 33, whatever it is. Demon will tell you he's going to shield, or sorry, it might be called shield charge. It's just he'll charge at someone You just want to not stand in front of him when it tells you that he's going to charge. Most of this other stuff is pretty simple. At 66, 67, Phemos will do basically an AoE. You have to stack in front of him, and it'll help soak that AoE damage. And that is essentially the whole fight. So as a Death Knight, keep your dots up on both of them. Make sure that you just have good uptime. Watch out for Quake. When the Quake happens, our raid group likes to move over so that we're behind a couple of the axes. Obviously, when you see that huge motherfucking swirly thing, you get out of it. So when Quake goes down again, we're going to move over towards purple. That way we're directly behind that axe. And then same thing. You go right, left, right, left, right when they're coming at you. And that is essentially that. So I'll speed through the rest of this fight, and we'll move on to Korag. Okay, Korag, like other bosses from Melee, are pretty simple. So, the first thing he's gonna do, you will lust at the beginning, by the way, so burst right now. So pre-pod at, 2 seconds, whatever. So, the first thing you have to watch out for is he'll do something called Expel Magic Fire. This puts a dot on you, and as long as you're 7 yards away from everyone, you will not AoE everybody. It's a pretty long dot, so you don't have to worry about doing it right away, but you do have to do it after about 8 seconds. So you burst on him, burst him, burst him, burst him. He has a huge magic shield, so if your DPS looks like crap, that's probably why. He puts down these things called suppression fields. If you step in that, you'll take about 50k dot damage, and you will be silenced, so don't do that. Now, he's about to lose his shield, which means he's going to go down. So when he goes down, I didn't really mean to do it this time, I kind of wasn't thinking, but go in the middle, if it's your job, and you will use AMS to kind of absorb this damage. You're going to get this huge shield for millions of damage. So with this shield, you'll see these green swirly orb things in the sky, and they'll make green swirlies on the ground. You have to sit under those and absorb that damage with your shield. It'll take about 2 million of your shield, and then you'll save the raid from some raid damage. Now when he summons these adds, these orbs aren't falling as they're being summoned. What you want to do is save your Defile, if possible, for these adds. So you don't want to kill them when they're out of a suppression field. Basically, the gist of this is the tank gets in the suppression field, you AoE them down when they're in there, and they won't AoE the rest of the raid as long as they're like that. And that is pretty much the fight. You'll want to keep track of a couple things. That Ice Orb out there, it doesn't kill you, but it will slow you into the ground. Make sure you keep watching out for the orbs that are falling from the sky. You want to collect those if they're close to the raid so that they don't take a lot of raid damage. And then you just DPS the boss, and then defile the adds. I mean, don't just defile the adds, but you want to save defile, hopefully time it so that you know that shield's about to go down. He's going to summon adds soon. Basically, that's the fight. Other than the tanks will get something called, it's like Expel Magic Arcane. And when they get that, they don't want to touch you. You don't want to be near them. It'll put this arcane thing on the ground. You touch that, it does massive damage. Heroic, you'll take 300, 400k damage from that. It'll kill you instantly. Stay out of it. Just a reminder, don't kill these adds in Massey on the outside of a suppression field. They will AoE the raid, and then you just go. So that's this video. I'm going to speed up the rest and get to the end. And just so you know, like, we have down Imperator, but I didn't record it. So I'll put a video on that out sometime. It's a very long fight, and it's in and of itself. So hopefully you learned something here. I'll speed up the rest of this fight so you can see it go down. But all in all, this is a pretty simple raid for Melee. Deathknights rejoice. It is a very fine raid for you, and it's actually relatively fun. So hopefully you guys learned something, and I will catch you guys later.
to live in the night.